Who I am, as probably most of you, I am Craig Luke. I've been riding for a while now, but I've been adventuring in the backcountry pretty much my entire life. Done a lot of playing, a lot of learning the hard way of being out in the mountains, and I'm a map geek. I'm that guy who just will pour over maps for hours. I'm riding a Gas Guy 700 over there in the booth. Had a KTM 690 for 3 years before that. Same bike, so yeah, I kind of know what I like. It's sort of the right tool for my job at least. 25,000 K last year, 74 nights in a tent. So I'm out there riding, camping, mapping stuff out, tracking all the fun stuff to do. So I used to be the ride the Kootenays guy. Did that for a bunch of years. Ran out of Kootenays to put maps out for riding. I think we missed a turn, so now I'm doing more of the province. And then opportunity came up just before Christmas, Epic GPS Adventures, which is what we're going to talk about here today. So this is my mapping evolution in the public world and getting maps out there. So what is Epic? Epic GPS Adventures is a not-for-profit organization that passionately assembles trail networks, routes, and guidebooks for free. Yeah, that's right, for free. So where mine was just putting maps out there, this is a full society with some of the who's of the BC riding community. We're working against some good people from Alberta. We're getting there. But we're not volunteers to curate, test, ride, map, maintain the routes. While sponsors provide funds to train fund positions. And we're developing world-class destinations because Western Canada has got some of the best riding in the world. And we're accessible. We don't have a language barrier. We don't really have a money barrier. And it's one of those things where people can come here, fly in, get a bike, do an epic adventure for 2 weeks, and go home and talk about it for the next year. The riding here is that good. First things first. So what's coming down the pipe right immediately here is the Kootenay Epic, the Okanagan Epic, and the Border Patrol Epic. So these are going to be out very soon. So I'm as the map guy, this is my job right now, is getting these ready for you fine folks. So the Kootenay Epic is my home stomping grounds. The person who originally put the route together, Roger Nelson, I actually helped him put that route together. So although it's not technically my route, it's kind of my route. And goes basically all the way through the Kootenays, over Great Pass, through the Rockies. Something like that. So you get a rough idea of the terrain that we're passing through. And depending on what you're riding and how fast you ride, it's going to be a pretty good solid 4 or 5 really fun-filled days of riding. And we try to make it simple and let you know what to expect when you get out there. So we've created this rating system where paved is 0 and green. So there's some green bits in there. Then it gets smooth. So the blue smooth is kind of like a well-groomed FSR. Then you get a rough, which is a really poorly maintained FSR or double track. And then you start getting into spicy, which is going to be definitely more single tracky, steeper, looser, definitely more challenging, definitely a lot more work on a bigger loaded bike. But some people are like that kind of type 2 fun. And then dodgy is a whole nother level. We don't currently have anything in the dodgy level because we're trying to make these travel routes. These are adventure travel. So you're going to be doing it on a loaded bike and possibly something that's a little bit bigger. So the dodgy stuff gets into more day ride kind of terrain. And then on top of that is all the waypoints for literally everything you could possibly imagine. You never want to know. So all the campsites, all the gas stations, all the motorcycle shops, all the gates, if there's a gate system are marked. Hospitals, good thing to know. And the whole point of all of this is all available offline. So this is part of the download package. So you get out in the middle of nowhere and you have a mechanical. And it's like, well, now you can figure out where the nearest motorcycle shop is without having to Google it, because it doesn't work in the mountains. So this is there to give you an idea of scale and how to do things. You can plan this stuff for 4 months beforehand. If it all goes smoothly, great, it went smoothly. But it's when it goes sideways is where this offline ability becomes important. Same thing if you're not feeling well, or somebody in the group has a mechanical if you're traveling together, or you're just not feeling it today because the weather's crappy, it's raining, and you're miserable. So there's a few different options where you could be doing the blue route, but again, things didn't go according to plan, so you need to make up some time. Guess what? There's a green route right there. So you hit the pavement for a little while, make up some time, cut a corner off, get back on route again. The Okanagan Epic. So this is one that I haven't actually written the whole thing yet. I'm super excited to do so. I've done all of it, but not as a loop. It's a little bit easier for grading. We're adding some harder bits for next year. Because yes, there's people who do like to challenge themselves and push the limits and ride a small bike and carry almost nothing. So we want to make sure that it's fun for those folks too. And it looks something like that. Doesn't fit the map space quite as well, given a rectangular screen. But basically it goes around the Okanagan. Up one side, down the other side. The good stuff on the sides. And there's a lot of good stuff on those sides. And a ton of potential for day route side tracks. So we're going to be adding those in to spice this up just a little bit. But it's also got better weather, so you can start it earlier. So you've got different time frames between the two routes. And same thing, all the bits and pieces to plan it all out, know what's what and where's where. Again, fuel station is a big deal, especially if you're one of those guys pushing it harder on a smaller bike with a smaller tank. You got to figure out where your gas stations are. The Border Patrol. So this is another one of my babies. I put this together to link the top end of the Washington BDR and the top end of the Idaho BDR. So you can fill up one, come across from Canada, down to the other one. We want to make giant, huge epic. So it looks like that. That's simple. Border Patrol. And this one's going to get changed a little bit before now, and its release at the end of February, because it overlaps a little bit right now with the other routes. I've got other stuff to offer, so we're going to make this one a lot more original in the next month. So all three of them will be three very distinct ways to travel back and forth through this amazing terrain. So all three of these, I've apparently made it my mission to have them available online, ready for download by the end of next month. So it's coming, and it's coming soon. Plenty of time to plan for this year. But yeah, what's coming? So after that, best way is to get onto our newsletter, because we've got a few things coming. So I don't know if anybody's familiar with the Whipsaw. It's definitely getting into that dodgy territory. And I don't care who you are and what bike you're on, it is something else. It's quite a challenge. It's not for everybody. It is a one-day ride, so you typically do it unloaded. However, I did do it loaded last year. I did it in the middle of a 3-week trip with my gas full of luggage and all my brochures and probably about 20 pounds worth of stickers to hand out. So it doesn't get done loaded very often. I'm looking forward to going back and doing it unloaded, because it is something else. And that's coming out, and we're going to do a one-day video shoot on that too, so that's going to be fun to watch. Vancouver Island. So again, a big chunk of our amazing terrain that's completely different than everything else in Western Canada. We've got so much variance as we move west and east. So we've got a few folks on the island right now working as ambassadors and trail finders. We've got some tentative routes already picked. We just need to go and fine-tune it a bit. And then I get on my laptop and make this one work too. Same thing with the Caribou-Chilcotin area. It's a pretty exciting area to go up and explore, because not many people ride there, but the riding is great. And again, a little bit different environment and climate. So we're doing this one a bit differently. This one is going to be crowdsourced, literally. So I'm taking my new base camp truck that I'm building. We're going to go up to the Chilcotin for the entire month of August, hang out and ride. So if you want to come for a day, great. 3-day weekend, great. Want to come for a month? Sure. I got one guy back here who's going to come. Owen, you're going to be for at least a week and a half, right, buddy? Minimum. So yeah, come, go. We're going to explore, and we're just going to have some fun. And the whole idea of Epic is that it's grassroots. It's on the ground. It's just the riding community putting stuff together that we want to ride. So we're going to be mapping it out in August, and then again, that's my fall job. Probably later fall by the time I actually get this one built. And then the peat bagger. So again, there's some spicy stuff out there. It's a ton of fun. It isn't necessarily part of a travel route, but if you're doing the loop, base camp for a day, drop all the luggage, go light, up the beach. There's the views that we have. I spent a lot of time first doing map stuff, making loops, because that's what you do. And then I realized that all the really cool stuff is at dead ends. It's where they go and they stop, because that's usually up somewhere. We don't have a lot of really good mountain passes in Canada, like we do in the US. All the good stuff comes up one side, stops. And it goes up the other side and it stops. And it doesn't go over, but it's such good stuff where it stops. So that's what this is going to be. So not necessarily part of the larger loop system, but a ton of good riding. And yeah, Alberta. So we are covering as much of this amazing country as we can. We've got a few folks here ready to help out. Again, I look back over this guy over here. But we are looking for more local riders to help out planning this. But yeah, so newsletter is how we're going to get stuff out right now. If most of what I just showed you right there is already on our website. And that's about all that's on the website for another week or two. So we're going to actually have those maps that I'm working on live on the site. So as I'm improving them, you'll actually get to watch me do it, literally. So every day it's going to be a little bit closer to launch. But basically right now the newsletter is going to say, okay, this one's coming out, that one's coming out, this one's coming next, we did this. And it's going to give you a lot better idea of what's coming. But basically, in the next month, there's going to be an awful lot of really cool stuff to start looking at, wandering around at. All the maps are going to be available in GPX files, KML files, and PDF. So you've got GPX files that work on Garmin's, and because Garmin's won't work with anything else. You got the KML stuff that'll work with Google Maps and Google Earth and nothing else. But they got stuff like Gaia and Macros that will work with both. And then the PDF, you can download it, view it on your phone, whatever, but you can also print it out. So it's going to be a printable format. So you can actually have a hard copy of the map, but a hard copy of all those waypoints as well. So it'll say where that waypoint is. It'll say such and such campground, such and such sites. It may be free, it may not be free. And it'll tell you what's at all the waypoints. So again, if your phone gets submerged and the Garmin doesn't charge, you've got a paper backup. Not to mention, some people still like paper, and that's okay too. And then the next sort of build-on piece of this is that Moto app, the guys at TMA. So they're currently working on a whole GPS exchange program, and they're going to have all of the stuff from Epic as part of that for download. So you can go to Epic, go to the website, download all the stuff. It's free. Go play with it. Plan your adventure. Awesome. Great. But what happens in June if there's a washout? You downloaded the stuff back in February. You don't know there's a washout that's going to affect 2 days of your trip. TMA is going to have live crowdsourcing. So if you're doing that route, you come across a tree down or that washout, you take a picture of it, you do a little write-up. As soon as you get cell service, it goes up to the mothership. And then the next person who logs on to view it in the app sees the current conditions. Especially for things like Grey Pass, which is one of the big major ways to get east and west with goodies. There's either snow or not snow. And it's a go, no go. So as soon as the snow's gone, everybody runs up there. But someone's got to say so. So this is one way that someone's going to say, I got through. Okay, everybody else goes. So it's going to be a really neat sort of add-on to it. So you don't need to use it, but if you do, you're going to get a lot more stuff. So it's kind of a neat little package system. And yeah, I guess that's Epic in a nutshell. So exciting times ahead. I'm going to be traveling all over BC, talking about Epic, showing up at all the events, giving speeches like this, and then just collecting tracks. I can't get over how many people in the last month have just said, hey Craig, this is really cool, add this, and add this. And so I've got way too much stuff to look at now and try to integrate it and see if it's going to work with all this. Because again, it's crowdsourcing, it's grassroots, it's the community, and we're building this stuff together. So yeah, come be part of it. And like I say, we're looking for folks from this neck of the woods to kind of help us along a little bit on the Alberta side. So I got some stickers up here. Come grab some stickers if you want to get a hold of me. I think we missed a turn. I'm Craig at Epic. I'm all over the place. You can find me. So that's Epic in a nutshell. Any questions? You're all ready to get Epic right now. Perfect. Excellent. All right.